Hello and welcome to Our Kids, brought to you by the Jefferson County Public Schools. I'm Stephanie Bateman. On today's show, we revisit some of the more interesting students and programs we featured during the past school year. We also have reports from our high school student correspondents. Joining me in the studio to preview those stories is Our Kids reporter Chad Catliner from Fern Creek Traditional High School. Chad, what stories do you have for us today?
Well, our student reporters went all over the district and found students making their marks in music and business. We also met students from around the world who are introducing our JCPS kids to their unique cultures, and we met a few guys who are wise beyond their years.
Well, thanks. It all sounds interesting, Chad. And he'll be back with those stories later in the program. But now we visit Price Elementary, where students worked with local sculptors Al and Penny Nelson to create a stone pillar that illustrates the main ideas of the school's creed: responsibility, respect, work, and care.
You never know what's going to be under it. Might be a shell holding it in there very tightly. You're doing great.
We are doing a stone carving project because we are making a time capsule that's going to represent all of our 5th grade students here at Price.
You're the very first person to ever see under there. You're like an archaeologist.
You grab the chisel and the hand that you don't write with, and the hand that you write with, you use the hammer, and then you take the hammer and you hit the chisel.
How you got it?
For the time capsule, the students designed 4 pictures for it to represent our Price Way, or our student motto that we have. So in the Price Way, we talk about 4 different principles: respect, responsibility, work, and care.
They're making art out of the stone.
You see how it sparkles? Remember we talked about that calcite in the bones of the fish?
Today we have Al and Penny Nelson, who are a part of Nelstone.
Now, to me, the key of this thing is don't look where you're hitting. The reason I don't want you to watch where you're hitting is I want you to watch the tip of the chisel.
And they are just fantastic. They're veteran stone carvers. I know they've said they've been working with students for over 26 years, and then just in the stone carving business, you know, well before that.
And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to scratch in my nickname, and and the reason why we're doing this is because we need to learn how to carve.
The time capsule is when you carve one of the shapes and you get to pick which one you want it, and then you go over there to that station and then you tell him what you want to carve, and he'll carve it for you.
The response from the students has been wonderful. Actually, at first, whenever they heard about it, I don't really think they quite grasped or understood the whole process. Like, they saw pictures, they saw video clips, but it wasn't until today, when they actually stepped into our converted stone studio, that they really, I think, appreciated and just fell in awe with the work that they were doing.
It's from Indiana, and it's a limestone.
Fossils are from the fish, then all their bones fell to the bottom of the water, and then it turned to stone.
And it's fish bones that's been over 350 million years ago.
With our magnet program here, our focus is integration in the classroom, and this year's focus has been with science. With this project, we are able to cover multiple science content bullets, and also pull in the art as well, so that we're teaching both of them together.
And they say it is the finest limestone in the world because this stone has the finest fossil structure of shells and fish. So it's the greatest building stones for the Empire State Building, the National Cathedral, the Pentagon. All those are made out of there.
So the kids walk out with science information, they have art information, and they have, you know, a wonderful experience and a memory that they'll take for their lifetime with them.
Where did I say it came from? What state?
Indiana.
You got it. Good memory.
Students at Western Middle School worked with artists from the Flame Run Gallery to create a sculpture that graced the entrance of the Kentucky Center for the Arts for several months this spring. Their work coincided with a performance by the renowned Blue Man Group.
But if you look around, there's a lot of other things that are really, really different, because we do carry artists from all over everywhere.
So I come on over here, I'm just showing you guys the material. I need to grab a little bit more glass to make what we're making.
We started going around looking at the different artworks and learning how they work and what they did to do it.
Other cool things, which I think are neat.
We're blowing glass for our Blue Group project.
Okay, go ahead, puff a little bit, please.
We are with Western Middle School Visual and Performing Arts Magnet. This is our 7th grade visual arts students. They are experiencing blown glass for the first time, as well as I'm also experiencing it for the first time.
So as it cools off, if I take a moment now, see how much slower it's moving? As it cools off, it's less viscous and it's less liquid. So we'll let this cool off a little bit more. What I'm looking to do is just have a little bit more glass in order to put the color on and to make our piece.
And part of this project is to create a culminating experience where students are going to complete an outdoor 3D sculpture. So it's going to be called Project Blue Drum. It works in tandem with Louisville Visual Art Association Open Doors program and with Kentucky Center for the Arts to welcome the Blue Man Group.
When the project all comes together, it will be in front of the Performing Arts Center.
So we've got 2 layers of that red on there. I'm going to heat this up now, and the chunks of yellow that we're going to get are actually going to be larger. So we'll have more of an even layer of red on the interior with some big spots of yellow.
So they get to see professionals at work. They get to go through the processes and the thinking that professionals go through to create an actual real-time piece that the community gets to interact with.
When we blow in the glass, it's to make it expand, to make it bigger. It was really hard to blow. It was like, it takes a lot of energy to be able to blow the glass.
And stop. Great, nice job.
Students across the district get to try out a lot of different art types and art mediums. This particular medium, glass blowing, is something that most students may not get to experience unless they go on their own time. So the one thing that I really want students to take away from this is that they see art in process, and it's something they have not really fully experienced or seen before. Giving them an opportunity to try this out, as well as doing the installation for Blue Man Project later on, it really gives them a full rounded experience of seeing how artists work in the real world.
When Our Kids returns, Chad will share stories about our kids from our student reporters. Welcome back to Our Kids. My co-host this month is Chad Catliner from Fern Creek Traditional High School. Chad, what were some of the stories you liked best?
I had a lot of good stories to choose from, but 2 of them stood out to me. One of them is a story about the PRP student who balances schoolwork and the books of his business.
How can a 15-year-old be a PRP student and own an ice cream business 282 miles away?
I started my business in St. Louis in 2007. It was basically just like an idea that came along. I was associated with a lot of entrepreneurs, and they were telling me about, how good it was, how good the business was, and I just decided to see for myself.
As a 15-year-old owning his own ice cream business, he makes $3,000 to $4,000 a year.
Yeah, I was calling, I remember last week I talked to you about ordering the mix in and getting it in. I need 2 cases, 1 case of vanilla and 1 case of chocolate.
The interesting thing about Andre is he first came into my class as part of my graphic arts club, and he was working on some business cards for another client that he had, and I really had no idea that he even had this business going on.
I spend time talking to different ice cream vendors in the area. I mean, not only those who sell the supplies, but I also talk to those who are actually working in the same business field as I am. I built the website to, help me advertise for my business.
I was amazed by his entrepreneur skills. At the age of 15, the most amazing thing to me, though, is when he's talking to these suppliers, they have no idea that he's only 15 years old, and that's pretty cool.
I'm Allison Banks reporting for Our Kids.
In JCPS, students speak more than 90 different languages, making us the most diverse school district in the state. That might also be the reason our district is a magnet for foreign exchange students. Kristen Reeser has more.
Deciding to live in a different country with a family you've never met, go to a school that you've never heard of before might seem pretty scary to most people. But every year, dozens of exchange students to JCPS do just that.
Through JCPS's foreign exchange program, juniors from other countries such as Germany, Ukraine, and Brazil get the chance to come to Louisville and experience the best we have to offer for a whole 10 months. This is a wonderful opportunity for these students because they get to immerse themselves in a completely new culture, experience a different perspective on education, and do fun activities they couldn't do otherwise. Head of Pupil Personnel Barbara Ayers explains the benefits of this exceptional program.
Most of them want to come here for cultural experiences, to learn how to speak the language better, and to just experience what high school life is like in the United States.
Natalie Majidian, a German exchange student at Atherton, explains how she interacts with her host family.
Sometimes I cook, or there's some Christmas traditions in Germany that I showed her.
Hiroyuki Ozawa, an exchange student from Japan, likes his new family.
Host brothers like swords, they swing around, and my host father likes playing guitar.
Over the course of the year, these JCPS exchange students form close personal bonds with anyone they spend time with.
First day I was just really scared that I wouldn't find anybody to sit with at lunch or something, but everything was like really quick and I found friends really quick. People are really open and talk to you more. That's what I like more here.
Friendly faces appear to be universal to these students, but not everything here is like that. Different scheduling, routines, and uniforms may cause confusion in the students' first few weeks in JCPS.
We have more longer each time period. The classic class here is only 5 minutes, but we have 10 minutes, so we can do whatever we want. But here, we also need to change our room classes, and it makes me confused.
Despite the differences, learning in the United States at JCPS will sure to be one occasion these students will never forget.
Für unsere Kinder, das ist Fern Korrespondentin Kristen Reeser.
The term wise guy hasn't always been the most flattering, but these wise guys are different. Cassie Kelsey has the story.
It's a school-appropriate version of Guy Talk. The Wise Guys program, run by the nonprofit organization CAP, has reached out to about a dozen schools. The outreach program functions as a community resource for helping young male students with decision-making and life skills.
So with the Wise Guys programs, it helps us give them a way of seeing someone that's young, someone that's successful, someone that can come in and talk to them and that they can emphasize with, and gives them a relation point where we can maybe be that positive influence.
Schools are visited on different days and times. Topics include anything from teen pregnancy to positive decision-making. Students in the Ballard program recently participated in an activity called Value Voting.
I've learned that you need to take control of your life and make sure you know what you're doing so you don't screw up. And it's impacted me as a person because it's helped me know what I need to do when I get older and how to take care of some situations.
I think it can impact me because next time I'm faced with a decision or something that I'm not really sure on how to take it, I'll try to face it better this time with information now.
So as long as we can give these kids some informational tools that will help them along their way with becoming successful, I've done my job.
For many Ballard students, this program has proven to be an important tool for helping young men make informed and intelligent decisions and to become so-called wise guys as they maneuver their way through life during and after high school. I'm Ballard correspondent Cassie Kelsey for Our Kids.
Making music comes naturally for many of our kids. This next story shows us what's involved when students come together to create beautiful music.
It's no surprise that JCPS students like music, but some find it hard to believe that our very own JCPS students are making music of their own. Many students from JCPS are writing and producing their own music outside school. Using modern technology, they are rising to stardom. Students, like Nico Batones, a quartet singer from Atherton's choir, use recording equipment and internet sites to become famous.
I'm more capable of, expanding my horizons of, growing more, learning more from, especially if I'm in a chorus now and I have a director to look up on, and I, learn some new stuff from him. How do I project my voice even better?
As for another young star, Emily Redding, a 17-year-old bass player from Fern High School, is becoming popular the old-fashioned way, booking shows. Emily and her band Remora play at local shops and restaurants, which makes their band well known.
They're a lot older than us, and it kind of is like a good chance to get your foot in the door if you want to do it after high school.
From rock to rap and jazz to quartet, it's amazing how much music inspires lives. If you didn't know much about JCPS students' music, you will in the future. These three students, along with many others, are on the fast track to becoming stars. For Our Kids, I'm Fern Creek correspondent Kaylee Connors.
KMEA and All County are just two of the big competitions that JCPS orchestra students are driven to compete in every year. OrchestraPalooza, on the other hand, is more of a jam session. The yearly event was held at Ballard's Fine Arts Center.
What we do is we combine some of the great orchestra kids in the school district of JCPS from Ballard, Manual, YPAS, and Eastern. And in the first half, we each perform for the other groups. Each group performs by itself, a serious program, we call it, because we do some classical music. And we combine all the groups together So we have about 130 kids playing at once, and we do all fun music, pop music, Broadway show tunes, movie music, that kind of thing, rock tunes.
Playing pop music is fun for the orchestra students.
I really like that you get to play like not fun, I hate to say fun music, but like popular music, because I think it's fun to do that, because normally you focus on the classical and other stuff, which is good, but it's kind of exciting to think, oh, this song was on the radio, or oh, I know this song, so I like doing that.
Good music, good musicians, having a good time. I'm Ballard correspondent Simone Young for Our Kids.
Thanks, Chad. Now stay tuned. There are a lot more stories about our kids coming up. We all pledge to get fit and exercise every day, but how long do we stick with it? This winter, preschool students from McFerran Preparatory Academy were featured in a video about the mayor's Healthy Hometown movement because these 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds are walking at least 1 mile every day.
McFerran Early Childhood Programs.
As I already said, every day after lunch, we put on our pedometers, put on the shoelaces, and we walk outside to get 2,000 steps. What does a pedometer do? How many steps do we get? 2,000.
Pedometer, and they count your steps.
How many calories do we burn in a minute? 100.
I walk to stay healthy.
I was told that I was a borderline diabetic, and I didn't want to take any medicine for that, so I started watching what I was eating, exercising, and I started wearing pedometers. I keep pedometers on me constantly. And so the kids would ask me, well, Miss Sutton, what is that you're wearing?
We walk first, then we play a game.
We like to walk, yeah! So when I came back to school that August, I said, well, I'm gonna call and ask if I could get pedometers. And they thought, well, at that age, I don't know, I think they may not be able to keep up with it. So I said, well, what if I show you proof that it will work as long as somebody is working with them, that they can do it.
I'm so proud of Pam Sutton and this creative, inventive initiative that she's come up with, this out-of-the-box thinking.
2,000 steps is a mile.
They're 3-, 4-, and 5-year-olds, and people were really shocked to see that if it's a bad day, we walk through the buildings.
We have a wonderful track outside, and she takes them out there every day with the help of our foster granny. And the kids love it. They are really learning a lot of skills. It's pretty remarkable that they can talk with you about math numbers and even read large size numbers off of their pedometers.
And they talk about how we track their steps every day on the chart, and they look at it, they look at the numbers, and they can see it and say it.
We walk so we could get there, so we could have a big party.
Most of the time, all 20 walk. All 20 go out with a pedometer on. All 20 come back in with a pedometer on. So after 8 weeks, we have a party, a pedometer party.
Well, if we get a lot of steps, we have a party.
I chart down their steps for that day, and I go all the way through the whole week.
Do you all like walking? Yeah! You know, knowing Miss Sutton's spirit and her energy level, I was not at all surprised that rain, shine, whatever it might be, she'll either have the kids walk indoors or have the kids out on the track and make sure that the kids are moving every day. And she's doing it in such a way that the kids enjoy it and they look forward to it. So they really want to engage and participate in these levels of activity that she's doing and count their steps and know that every step that they take matters in their fitness level.
Well, it's fruits, vegetables, like oranges and peas.
Come in and see that they've enjoyed themselves, that they come back the next day and they say, Miss Sutton, I had broccoli for dinner, or I told my mother or my father. And now, what's even better is the parents that want to get involved, they want to come and walk with them. They want to challenge their child. So I'm going to make a chart for them as well and track their steps.
Well, I'll tell my mom that I love walking with my teacher, Miss Sutton.
Swing those arms, y'all. Swing them. There you go.
It's not exactly the amazing race, but students from Seneca, Eastern, and Atherton high schools competed in World Campus Day, the culminating event of the year-long Amazing Global Marketplace. And while the students didn't have to physically crisscross the globe, they did have to think globally with mentors from local corporations.
Welcome to Amazing Global Marketplace. What we're going to show you today is a peek, an inside view of what real executives, real business people that work internationally, what they see.
Where are you traveling to?
Mexico City.
We start in America. We have to go through customs and legal documents and all this stuff, and we have to act like we're going to different countries.
Today is the final event for Amazing Global Marketplace, and it's the culminating activity where the students who have been working through the school year to create a business plan, learn cultural norms from around the world, and develop a logistics plan come and execute that in a simulated real-time environment.
So how was your trip?
Good.
Long? Tired?
Well, we had to go to India because Mexico ordered 50 linear actuators from us, and we needed 50 motors for us, for the actuators. And we went up there, and we had a mock business meeting.
How can we help you?
We're interested in putting a piece together, a linear actuator.
Then we negotiated a deal with the CEO and the CFO of Medico Inc. To get 50 motors.
Do you mean in general how much we would take up?
Yeah, how much would you sell
that?
that? Right. How much? Yeah. Like, what kind of business are we looking at though?
Well, we're actually going to go to Japan because we have to confirm with Japan that there was some issues and see if they're okay with it. And we were talking about like how we're going to greet them and just to make sure that we're accustomed to them and that they we're not just there just to be arrogant or ignorant. We're there because we want to have business with them. We're genuine about it.
And as a city that is growing and looking at itself as a regional, global community, having students who are culturally aware and able to think about careers and pursue professions in those areas are really going to be helpful to our community's future.
Well, I really want to go into business when I grow up. In our group, I'm the CEO, and so I think it teaches me how to be a leader, and it teaches me kind of how business works.
I think this would help us if we want to make business or if we travel to another country to do any type of business.
I want to be an international business, and I guess this kind of, simulation will help me see, okay, this is how it's really going to work and how I'm supposed to, go about business and give me a feel about how it's going to be in the future.
All of the scenarios that were developed by the local corporations, Papa John's, Yum, Lineac, Glow Touch, Sud Kami, and Flavor Man, and they come out of real life business practice.
All right, looks good. I think let's do this.
This is really exciting, and it's new to Louisville, it's new to the nation as well. We're combining different concepts into one, and we really think it's going to make an impact for the JCPS school.
Enjoy India though. Look around though.
Yeah.
Yep.
I hope you guys are going to spend a little time here.
All right.
Why would one of the district's environmental magnet schools, known for its technology, host a Pioneer Day? Well, there were important lessons to be learned from the early settlers.
It is an amazing place to be today because it is pioneers of Kentucky, past, present, and future.
There's a big bunch of batteries in the back part of this car.
We have an authentic stagecoach from the past.
It's hot, it's sweaty, it's dusty, it's rainy, it's cold.
Have you all figured out how they get the batteries charged? You don't plug this one in.
Next to it, we have a Prius, a brand new, just off the line.
So which one's the electric motor?
With all the parts marked that are made right here in Rubbertown where these children live. So we have the past meeting the future, in transportation.
So you have somebody in your family that knows how to do a skill like this? You can go and learn it from them?
It's a day of celebration when we look at our heritage, our culture, our history. From the very beginning, when the Native Americans used Kentucky as a hunting ground.
This is the weapon I use. It's called an atlatl.
He was just showing you what kind of weapons they used and what tools they had, and he was throwing, I think it's like a type of arrow in a sphere, and it was pretty cool over there too, and everybody was like, my teacher got to do it.
Bring your arm back here.
Okay.
Don't lose, girl.
Okay.
It didn't go very far.
Didn't go far, okay.
All the way through today, the chemical processes that are going on right across the road from us.
And we've done goo. It's like a slime thing.
The first thing that I need for you to decide is whether or not you want to make pink slime or green slime. Pour it in, hold the cup with one hand and stir with the other. Remember, no wimpy stirring, but no wild stirring. And tell me what happens.
Oh, look at mine!
Our pioneers of the future are things like Lubrizol, making slime with the children, learning about chemical changes.
It's soft, it's slimy, and it's jiggly.
So we're connecting our past, our present, and our future across the curriculum today. Every activity, all 33 activities, are aligned to core common standards for the state and for JCPS. So it's a huge full day of learning in a great inquiry-embedded way.
Finally, in Our Kids News, we're celebrating. This broadcast is Our Kids' 100th show. It's been a pleasure to bring you stories about the great students of JCPS and to showcase talented student reporters like Chad. I hope you'll keep watching for years to come. That's our show for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have an idea for an Our Kids story, email us at this address. We'd love to hear from you. And be sure to tune in next month when Our Kids kicks off a brand new season. Until next time, you keep supporting our kids. We're going to eat this cookie.